Is that a machete in your pocket, sir, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you check the back seat?
I'm just not here for it.
I kind of enjoyed the axe to the face.
Ooh, hey there, Mr. Monster.
So, chill or kill.
Welcome back to the Haunted... No, it's not. It's not a Haunted Heart episode, is it?
It's not. In fact, it's not. You hear this? You hear this gentle shaking.
That low rumbling.
Rumbling. You hear me sucking my teeth for corn kernels that are stuck in there. You hear this rustling. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's not an ASMR episode. It is Netflix and Kill.
It's been a minute since you've heard that Netflix and Kill intro on your news feed, hasn't it?
It has, girl. I don't even have my headphones on. Hang on a second. Let me just get keyed in here.
Oh my God, she is not ready.
Oh my God. I have this big bowl of popcorn.
She ain't ready.
We got our box of Reese's Pieces over here, and by our box, I mean Kenny's box.
I mean, I was about to say, did you just grab my box of
Yes, I did,
Reese's
my
Pieces?
girl.
That my mother gave that to me for Valentine's Day.
You know what? We can share it.
She gave that to me, not you. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. We'll eat it. It's cool.
We have our snacks.
It's kind of like we're, ready for the movies.
It is. In fact, it's a theme. It's thematic.
That's what we do on this show that we started ages ago.
Yes. And
we
then
did-
everybody loved. Everybody absolutely loved it. And then, you know what we did? We took it away. Took it away. God bless y'all. God bless y'all for hanging in there with us through the ups and the downs. Bless you. Bless every single one of you.
I'm actually trying to go back to see when the last one that we submitted was, and I think
it's been a minute.
Back in May of 2019, where we did Mercy Black.
Oh yeah, remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
God,
I actually just discovered that. I don't know if I remember this or not, or if we said it, or if we talked about it. But Mercy Black was a Blumhouse film. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if we did. I don't remember if we did or not. We did. But I was looking at that because someone attacked Blumhouse on Facebook, and I had to be like, "Listen, hold up, I need y'all."
What was that? Was that in the Facebook group?
No. It was on some random comment because they talked about Blumhouse is the one behind the Craft remake or reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm still very skeptical of. And then someone just went on there and commented that, like, of course it's crap. It's Blumhouse. And I'm like...
No, we stand Blumhouse here.
I do. So, like, there are some things. And I made a very civil argument.
Oh, I bet you did.
And I listed, some films that I thought were good films or whatever. And the person commented that was like, obviously, we're not going to agree on this if you think films like The Visit and Unfriended were good.
Unfriended was fun.
I was like, and I commented back, I was like, yeah, actually, I did kind of like them, but at least I'm not a fucking horror elitist cunt like you.
Oh my God.
I didn't say that, but
great.
In my
it sounds
mind,
like a constructive conversation, right?
I didn't say that, but I did say something along the lines of like, I wish we could all just enjoy our horror and not deal with all of the elitism that the horror community has. And then I think I called her a stupid bitch. But anyway.
The only elitism that I stand in the horror world is fake nerd elitism.
That's true.
I will clock your fake nerd references every single fucking
you
time.
did, actually, on this show when we taled about the babysitter. You remember that one?
I did.
Was that an intentional reference that you were trying to do?
Yes. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about when I got triggered on the babysitter episode.
I think I saw something about them doing a Babysitter 2. Mm-hmm. I think that's coming.
Yeah, a lot of people really like that movie. I really like that movie.
Up until that point.
Except for that one thing.
That one thing. Mm-hmm. It was god awful.
For God's sake, get a real nerd to write your nerd speak for your big-titted blonde girls, okay? That's the thing.
That's true.
Or, here's an idea. Get a big-titted blonde girl who is an actual fucking nerd, because they're out there.
Oh, yeah. They exist, y'all. Mm-hmm. 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 So, but
yeah, we're back. We're back, baby. We're
bitch.
back. We're
back.
doing some Netflixing. We're doing some killing. Nope.
No. Only killing we're doing is on this bowl of popcorn right now.
Absolutely,
We're murdering
my friend.
that.
I'm very sorry to everybody who doesn't like the crunch sounds. We're trying to lean back from our mics.
Lean back.
They're directional,
Lean
so
back.
maybe it'll halfway work.
Well, what if I mean, we do have people that like ASMR though.
We have let me tell you, I think it was on episode 3 when I fucking sipped a glass of wine and everybody got fucking triggered. There are still people who are just discovering the show now and they go back and listen and they hear me sip that sip of wine out of my wine glass and we get fucking emails about it to this day.
What if I just...
Don't do it. Oh my God, rip headphone users. Ooh, I heard that through my headphones and I didn't even like it. No, sis, that is not it.
That's not the tea.
I'm suspending the popcorn till the end of the episode. So what the fuck are we talking about today?
Bitch, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
You do know. We watched it together, girl.
We did. So this is a little bit different. So this isn't necessarily a movie.
It's not.
So
but you know what? This is our show, and we do whatever the fuck we want. So we're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to mention it all.
Yes, we are talking about you, listeners.
We really liked you.
You.
Enjoyed watching.
You.
Wish we could actually spend more time looking at
you.
We have to stop. We can spend the whole entire episode doing that. First of all, obviously the very cleverly named you.
I didn't even realize, first of all.
Until we were talking about it.
Until we were talking about it. I'm like, I've been watching you, and I'm like, whoa.
Huh. Oh, it's
Interesting.
creepy. Mm-hmm. Enjoy it. Love something like that. It's cute. It's kitschy.
Yeah, definitely.
So what did you think? I mean, should we do a little bit about...
I forgot how this format goes.
I forgot how to do Netflix.
I don't know how we do this.
So usually, we also do have a bunch of new listeners who don't know what the fuck this is probably. So we should probably give them a synopsis.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
On Netflix and Kill, Kenny and I will sit down and we'll watch a horror film. Usually it's a horror film. This time it's a series on Netflix. And we will watch it, go away, ruminate on it, and then come back together and have a conversation with each other about the film for you guys. And we basically give a synopsis of the show or film first. And then we kind of get into talking about elements about it that we really liked, elements that maybe didn't work so well. And then towards the end of the episode, we will give it a chill or kill rating. Chill being we really liked it. Mm-hmm. We would chill with it. Kill being kill it. It's not good. Don't waste your time. Whatever. We will notify you guys when we're doing the synopsis stuff of when we get to the spoiler section so that you can kind of tune out if you want to go watch it first, or if you're the type of person who doesn't give a shit about spoilers, then just keep on listening, babe. But we will give you a heads up. We're not gonna tell you that Dumbledore dies or anything.
God, wow, you threw me for that one. I'm still hurt.
Triggered.
Still not over it. Oh,
No.
God. So, yeah. Well, let's get into a little bit about what you is. Like you said. I can't. What you
I hate
is.
it. What you is.
About what you is.
Into it.
So, it is a psychological thriller TV series that debuted on Netflix it actually debuted in 2018. That's when the first season was released.
But nobody was talking about it until this year.
Until this year,
I feel
honestly.
like. That's not true. That's not true. That's not fair to my friends and family because people have definitely asked me if I'm watching this show. Like last year, they would be like, "Oh, are you watching this show? It's called You and blah blah blah. You would really love it." and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Like it's on my list or whatever. And then I just fucking
It just gets added to the list of death.
Just never quite get there.
Yeah.
But this year, it seems like beginning of this year, everybody was like raving about it, and there were all these articles coming out about it, and yada yada yada. So we decided to give it a watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and that's kind of when it got top popularity or whatever.
Yeah. So it stars Pin Badgley.
I think we're just gonna ignore the D. Bagley. It's fine.
No, don't ever ignore the D. Anyway.
I mean, I'm certainly not ignoring his D, but we can get to it in a minute. I told you we were going to mention it all.
What else was he in?
Gossip Girl.
Gossip Girl. That's it. He was in Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So it essentially follows his
Dan.
character. Yeah. But he plays Joe in this series. Mm-hmm. I love these names. Dan, Joe.
3-letter names.
Yeah. And it essentially follows him as he follows a love interest. Correct?
Yes.
What was so funny about that? Do you not like?
I don't know. It's just funny. It follows him as he follows.
Right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. Like,
lot.
you're kind of like stalking him while he's stalking this other person. And it really just kind of follows his story of life, love, and
soundproof glass boxes.
Soundproof glass boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was trying to think of who recommended this to me. Shit, it might have been my husband.
I don't know what it says about me, but a lot of people in my life, like probably double digits level people in my life recommended this show to me. They were like, you would love it. It's like right up your alley. Like you would have a great time. You should totally watch it. Blah 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 blah. And I was like,
well,
interesting.
He is kind of that guy that I feel like you kind of like.
Oh, what? I'm sorry.
I mean,
what's your point?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like he's your type.
Yes, we love public masturbators. We love that. No, he's pretty solidly my type. Into it. Dark circles, emaciated somewhat, very pale, kind of like a very vanilla looking dude who's actually like level 10.
Level 10
Level
only?
10 freak.
Level 10?
Level 10
I think he
freak.
probably hit like 20.
Maybe. It depends on our scales, but yeah, no, it was very highly recommended to me, and we sat down actually to watch it, not necessarily intending to do a Netflix and kill. But you were like, oh, I watched the first episode, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of popping. Like,
I had seen the first, like, I think maybe 3 or 4 episodes, I think. Yeah. And because, like I said, I think my husband's the one that got me into watching it, because he was watching it first, and then I was just like on the bed, and then like did that thing where like, I think he was on like an episode like maybe 4 or something like that. And then like where I was like watching it, but watching it out of order. And I'm like, oh, I've got to go back and actually watch this again. So I'd watched a few episodes, and then again, I was like, oh my God, Katie would love this. So we sat down, not really even, and I don't even, like, we didn't even plan it. Like, we didn't plan to sit down and even watch anything.
No, it was like 8:45 at night, and you were like, let's watch this. And then all of a sudden it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were just pressing the next episode button, and it just,
well, you were,
I finished my cross stitch.
I was going to say, you were cross stitching.
I was
and you
just
were like,
stitching away.
She was cross stitching this little thing that has these hearts on it, and each heart, it's a 4-letter word, fuck. And so she was cross stitching that, and she was like, we'll just watch it through this next heart. And then the next heart was complete, and the next one, and the next one, and she even framed it by the end of the day.
I truly did.
She even had it framed.
I truly did. We should mail it to Penn Bagley.
Next thing you know, it was what, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
something crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And we had we didn't finish the whole thing. It was
no,
like
we had to come back. and finish it.
No,
like,
you
I don't
finished
get
it without me, actually, but that's fine.
but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But yeah,
Bitch,
that was a
bye.
good
You
night.
also finished it as well, because I think I came back.
I did.
And you were like trying to play like you didn't immediately watch the rest of it the following day.
I know.
Exactly like I did. Bitch,
I
I
know.
know you. Ain't
Well,
no reason for me to wait. You ain't gonna wait.
Here's the thing. I have a horrible tendency to like be really impatient and like want to know the answers to things. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I just spoil them for myself.
You don't say.
Yes.
Yeah, I never wait on your ass to finish watching anything because I know you just go
Same.
immediately watch it without me. So it's fine. We have an
Same.
understanding.
Same.
Yeah, so we very much, I guess this is the portion of the episode where we can kind of get a little bit deeper into the real tea.
Yeah.
But that means that it comes with some spoilers. So we will be referencing some things that happen throughout the show. So if you want to watch the show first and not have us spoil anything for you, now would probably be a good time to put this episode on pause, go on ahead and watch it, and then come on back.
Yeah.
To hear our rating. If you are totally cool with light spoilers, anything like that, then you can keep listening.
Yeah.
Live your life. Live your life. So with that said, we can kind of get on in.
Yeah.
First season, so there's 2 seasons that are out right now. First season, the first episode starts with Joe Goldberg, who is the title character, or not title character, the main character. Yeah. He meets this woman who walks into his bookstore who happens to be a writer, because those are the only people who come to bookstores apparently who are attractive. She comes into his bookstore and he notices her, immediately sort of becomes enthralled with her, and begins sort of talking to her in his head. And he is sort of narrating events as they unfold, and that is a pattern that sticks with the show throughout. So first season is his interest in Beck and his relationship with her, and as that goes. And then second season, first season is set in New York, second season is set in California. And that kind of follows his journey with another female.
Yeah.
And kind of where that ends up. So the show is, like I said, it's sort of the framework of the show is Joe is narrating things as things are happening. So we're seeing actions play out on screen, and then he is sort of offering commentary, which I thought was a really cool way to explore Joe's character, because we really get a whole lot more of we see his misinterpretation of events as they're being carried out, right? So we see things that happen that kind of like set him off, and we very quickly start to realize that Joe ain't quite right.
You think?
Joe ain't quite right. He has a different concept of personal boundaries. And he has a lot of stalkerish tendencies. He actually has a lot, for me, as I was watching, he has a lot of, in first season in particular, he has a lot of like serial killer tendencies.
Yeah.
Where he is sort of living a double life, and he does have these issues with control, and he does have these issues with boundaries. And even at one point, when he and Beck, his love interest in the first season, when they go to have sex for the first time, he has an issue with premature ejaculation, which is, not, I mean, obviously you're not a fucking serial killer if you have issues with premature ejaculation. It's tough, dudes. I know. It's fine. No judgment here. But I kind of feel like that was a nod to that. Like, I feel like the people who were producing the show put that in as a nod to his long rap sheet of behavior that would lead you to suggest that there's something maybe not quite right with Joe.
Right. But somehow you excuse it all.
I don't know that I would say I excuse it all.
No, here's the thing. We were sitting there, and then the whole time, and I'm sorry I'm going to expose you, Katie, but...
It's okay. You can expose me.
But, exposed.
Exposed. I love that song.
We're sitting there, and she's like, you know what? Joe wouldn't have to go through all of this because I'd have just fucked him the moment he saved me on the damn platform.
Here's the
Fucking
thing.
Subway.
Okay, here's the thing.
We wouldn't have to go through all of this.
So there's two conversations we need to have in the context of this, of discussing this particular show. On up top, need to let you know, obviously, Joe's behavior is not acceptable. Obviously, he's not. Penn Bagley actually has been very outspoken about. God, I hope I'm saying his name right, because every time I say it, I'm terrified. He's been very outspoken about how, you know, his character, because there's this weird social media thing that's happening with this show, right? Obviously, Joe is an unhinged individual, and obviously the show is sort of formatted so that he is taking these progressively worse and worse, more moral gray area. I mean, we in fact leave the moral gray area. We start in the moral gray area, and then we leave it quite rapidly to, you know, behavior that's just not acceptable. But because, you know, Penn Bagley himself is such an attractive man, he kind of, and he's very smooth with it. There's this interesting like phenomenon on social media of, you know, all the memes are about how, you know, people are just kind of excusing that behavior, right? And they're just like, Joe could get it, blah, 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 who cares, whatever. And, you know, you and I joked about that, and I'm sure we will joke about it, you know, as we go.
Definitely, 100%.
But it's very interesting to look at the social media posts about the show, because everybody is just kind of like brushing a lot of that behavior under the carpet. And it reminds me of kind of like with Ted Bundy, how, you know, Ted Bundy did horrible, horrible things and committed terrible atrocities, but because he was attractive, you know, you had women who were, you know, going to the courthouse to like sit through his trial every day to support Bundy.
Yeah.
And you had people who were kind of excusing it. You still have it now. I mean, there are Bundy t-shirts and Bundy like cell phone covers and all kinds of shit, where they're like repping this person who did these horrible things, but like we're kind of leaning into it because they're hot. And it's sort of tongue in cheek, but then it's also kind of like
morally questionable.
Yes. And Penn Bagley himself has been very outspoken against, not necessarily against that, but he has said, you know,
he's
like, don't excuse Joe's behavior. Like, my character is not an ideal, like, to be looked up to. Like, that's not okay. And he's very outspoken about, I believe one of his quotes was that Joe, the character, is kind of an example of how we will let a good-looking, attractive white man get away with evil.
Yeah, pretty much.
Acts or whatever. I'm paraphrasing there, but
yeah. You know, though, I don't know that I would say that, like, Penn is not someone who is traditionally considered by, you know, society standards as a, you know, he doesn't set the framework for like a traditional, like, hot man.
Oh, fuck that. No, he absolutely.
I don't think he does.
No, here's his trope. He fits into the not attractive hot boy category. Okay, he fits into the like you're gonna cast him as like the nerd or like the not like super like stacked jock guy, but actually like he's the really hot artist guy. Like that is his fucking trope, and you know it, and I know it, and we just because we eat it up doesn't mean that we can't fucking acknowledge that. That was his character on Gossip Girl too. He was like the poor guy who like wasn't like from the Upper East Side. I can't remember if it was the Upper East Side or the Upper West Side. I think it was the Upper East Side. But he was like the poor guy who was like not part of these like uber rich trust fund kids, and he just had regular clothes from Target, and he was so underprivileged. But like everybody knows he's hot. He's hot.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he's not fucking Chris Hemsworth, but he's really hot.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
He's hotter to me than Chris Hemsworth, but it's very much his niche. Is like the approachable, down to earth, cute guy.
He's same. So
like a John Cusack type character. I mean, for me.
I'm like,
Maybe not for
I'm
everybody.
like, wait, what?
Like a Lloyd Dobler. Anybody getting that? Nope.
No clue.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that this show has a lot of it's actually kind of fitting. We're just coming out of like Valentine's Day talking about this crazy obsessive love type thing. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but for me, I really liked the narration style. I liked sort of I liked hearing his character's thought process, and in a way that also, like, his thought process was trying to manipulate you into thinking that what he was doing was okay as well. Because then essentially that's what he's trying to do to himself, right?
Right.
Like, he's trying to convince himself that he is a good guy. He's fine. He's not a murderer. He's not this. He's only doing these things because there's some
Extenuating
external factor
circumstance.
that has forced his hand. He's not actually a bad guy. He wouldn't do this if it wasn't for this other thing. And so he's having this conversation with himself throughout this whole series, and also to you. And I think for me, like, that was also a factor in, like, oh yeah, like, it's honestly kind of like being dickmatized in a way.
Did you just say dickmatized?
Yeah. You've never heard of that? You've never heard of that?
Yeah. I mean, I've experienced it many times. I just don't think I had the vocabulary for it at that point in time, but I'll add that one to my dictionary. Dickmatized.
Dickmatized.
Got it.
I mean, honestly.
It is. No, it is. And it's very, what I thought was interesting about it is you raise a good point that the narration that's happening is how he is sort of automatically reframing things in his head, right? He is not creepy for standing outside somebody's like window, watching them through their window on the sidewalk, because he's talking to her in his head and she knows that he's out there watching her, right? So it's like it takes it from a place of like, this is a creepy man absolutely, it's a creepy man standing outside on the sidewalk looking through your fucking window. But, like, he is reframing it in his mind as this sort of, like, extended, like, sex game that they're playing. Kind of, yeah. But it's not hot unless I sent you outside to stand on the sidewalk and look in the window at me. Yeah. So, really, if you could just, like, go on, like, a couple dates with me, then we can play that game with my consent. But, of course, when you have people with those types of psychological issues, like, that wouldn't be as fun, right? Right. It's about the fact that really he's not saying that it's about the fact that she doesn't know that he's watching her, but it is. Yeah. And it's a control issue. Oh yeah, definitely. But I thought it was really cool because you see how with the narration that's explaining things and reframing things for you, if you don't kind of constantly keep yourself in check, because you are looking at somebody who's fairly attractive and there are these like crazy boundaries that are getting stepped over, if you're not sort of constantly sort of checking yourself, then you can get sucked into that reframing, and then all of a sudden you're like, yes, Joe could get it, which absolutely Pim Bagley could get it, but like, yeah, we gotta resist Joe. Yeah, that's true. Gotta just resist it. And it's sort of like, it starts out, like you said, we start out in a morally gray area. But it just kind of evolves from that. It kind of gets darker, a little bit deeper, and not necessarily all at once. Like, it's very, it comes at you a little slower than what you would think, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it kind of comes a little bit like out of nowhere. Not necessarily out of nowhere, but like, it builds slowly. It builds slowly, yes. And you're kind of like, and then when something really bad happens that, Joe is the cause of, you're kind of left like, oh, fuck. It's jarring. Joe, like, yeah. What? Because they built the show around him and his character, building you up to believe that he's good, and then he does something really bad. And then it's kind of like, if you think about, people who
are abusers or do that sort of thing where it's like, I'm a good guy and then, oops, this was a mistake, but I'm actually a good guy. It kind of follows that same format. And I think it was an interesting phenomenon to watch and be a part of, just to see the memes and see people's reactions to this, because I think it really sort of mirrored how these situations happen in real life.
Yeah.
You know, we make these excuses for people who we love. And even when in the series, when they finally do get together, because spoiler alert, you know, they do finally go on a date, you know, and like get together and become a couple. Shit, I completely lost my my frame of thought that I was going. But you get where I was going, right? Like it's
it's a constant presence. It's not like it's not something that goes away. And even in periods of time, like when they're together and things kind of calm down for a bit, it doesn't entirely go away, right? This urge to control, because it's there from the very beginning. And I don't know, I think a lot of our listeners are pretty close to our age.
Yeah.
But we may have some younger listeners, and if we do, I think it's probably worth outlining some of the behaviors in the beginning that are red flags that you may not necessarily notice. The show does a really good job of keeping a really low profile about it, but they are there. So when Joe meets this woman, or she comes into his bookstore. He meets this woman. He's following this woman around. She has no idea. She ends up having this like crazy, dumb, drunk thing where she falls onto some train tracks, and he actually jumps down and gets her off the tracks. Now, super hot. If I didn't know that guy was following me around, 100% would smash right there. There was nobody in that train station. It was like 3 a.m. There was like some homeless dude who was like singing to himself. Like, it's fine. It's entertainment for him. He's having a tough time, obviously. So here's some free entertainment. Like we're just gonna do our thing over here.
Yep.
You know, cast an eye over if you'd like, or if not, just face another direction. Thank you. That's what makes me a New Yorker and not an LA person. But so he saves her. Obviously, that is a very emotionally charged thing. Like, I might have died if I was on the train tracks. You saved me. So now you're sort of bestowed with this sort of emotionally charged energy, right?
Yeah.
And I feel indebted to you, grateful to you, whatever. If you're super smoking hot Pim Bagley, probably going to do you. But anyway, just because I'm happy to be alive. I mean, honestly, you might not even have to be hot like Pim Bagley. Like, I might just be so excited to be alive that we just need to have sex.
The fucking homeless man was the one who actually did it. And he's like, and then you're just like, well, I guess I'll throw you a fuck.
I'm just happy to be here. Like, but after that scene, like, he takes her and gets her a bottle of water because she's drunk. And he accompanies her home, right, in a cab ride.
Yeah.
And she notices that her phone is missing. Well, it turns out that he took her phone. He has it. He lies to her and says maybe she lost it on the train platform, but actually he has it. She doesn't know, and then goes away, goes inside, whatever. And it just continues. But there are like little control things that happen throughout the series that, like, if you've already watched it, it might even be worth going back and rewatching it now that you have the basic plot and looking for those moments where, you know, he makes a decision, not even the big decisions, but he just does something like keeping the phone. That's a control move, right? It comes down to, and I told you this when we talked about it, that, like, instead of letting the relationship happen the way that quote unquote normal people do, which I don't know how much any of us do this to an extent, but instead of allowing the relationship to just happen, he is sort of orchestrating each moment behind the scenes. And so because he's doing those things, right? Like, he's got her phone, so he's watching her text, so he knows that she needs to go get a new bed. So he orchestrates that moment.
Yeah.
He knows the exact right moment to pop in and be like, oh, hey, do you want to go help me pick out furniture? I need like a new end table or whatever. So because he's orchestrating the whole thing, he is able to stay in control. And that's what an abuser does.
Exactly.
So be really, just word to the wise, from the lady with the big old bowl of popcorn. Just keep an eye out for those control in the little ways, because those little things sometimes translate to bigger picture things.
Yeah, definitely.
And control is a tough thing in a relationship. You know, it ebbs and flows and kind of ebbs and flows between people. But if one person has all of the control all of the time, something's wrong.
Yeah, and you also have that moment to where because you remember he put the phone away, right? At one point it got to where he put the phone up and just kind of like, okay, was like, I don't need this anymore, right?
But he didn't get rid of it.
That's what yep, exactly. That's what I was about to say. He put it away, stopped looking at it, but never got rid of it. And
Right.
the first time that something, triggered him, I guess, brought him right back to his control issues and those abusive tendencies.
Right,
like
because that's
that.
hitting the pause button. That's not initiating like an actual change.
Right.
Because that's very difficult.
Right.
So,
We didn't throw it in the water and say goodbye.
right.
We just hit it in our roof.
Yes.
And our little roof space that we have.
We hate a drop ceiling. We never trust a drop ceiling.
No,
I'll be checking them
ma'am.
from now on.
Fucking drop ceilings. Who invented the drop ceiling
Yes.
and why? I want to know.
But also, there's something else that I think we should reference. I think we've talked a bit about Joe. Bless him. Everybody in that fucking like world of the show was a piece of shit.
Pretty much.
Like Beck's an alcoholic. She's drinking all the fucking time, and it's not like I struggled with it because I was like, is this is Netflix like? Is this an issue of like the people who are writing this show like think that this is how 20-somethings drink?
Yeah.
Because we don't all drink like this, or is this like this character being like unhappy
Who is we,
with her
girl?
life?
I ain't a 20-something no more. So
That's true. That's true.
who is we?
You're in a
You can't
different
be saying
bracket.
we.
I don't know if my beautiful young self. I don't know if like Netflix thinks that that's like the culture, and that's like a skewed like they have a skewed view of our culture, or if that was like a low key sort of subtle part of Beck's character that she was just drinking all the time because she was unhappy. I have no idea, but
I
she
think
drinks a lot.
Here's the thing. I actually think that they played a lot around addiction when it comes to the characters, because if you, I mean, you have Joe who has his addiction to control, really, right? And by extension, Beck herself.
Right.
And you have Beck who has, for, all that we can gather, an addictive personality when it comes to alcohol, right?
Yes.
Look at her friends. You have her one friend who's very like social media savvy, who seems to be like kind of addicted in that sense, right? Like we don't touch on her a whole lot, but you get that. For me, I got that same vibe, like very heavy social media, like influencer, like cares a lot about what people think of her, and then her other friend who was played by, I think her name's Shay Mitchell. She was in Pretty Little Liars. She was the crazy one, who we also see as kind of like an opposing force to Joe, right? Like she starts out as this friend she's kind of like your wealthy friend. She's your rich friend who sort of is kind of like Queen Bee-ish, right? And
She's the head of like their group, right?
Yeah, she's like the head of their group. She's also kind of like, a controller. She's an orchestrator, right? She has her own abusive tendencies. So
she's sort of pulling the string. She does things, she'll give Beck money, but she'll give her just enough to kind of like get her by.
Yeah.
But not enough for her to like, it's just enough to make you beholden to her.
Yes.
Basically.
Or like set up a party for her success, but then, go around and then tell the, publisher like, oh, she's probably not ready.
Right.
Right. That same publisher that you invited for your friend who you're setting this party up for.
Yeah.
So
it's sort of the giving somebody just enough rope to hang themselves type thing.
Yes. So I think they used a lot of that like throughout the characters.
And they used it very well because it wasn't very like, I mean, it was obvious enough that you clearly picked up on it, but it wasn't like so over the top. I thought that was used very well.
Yeah. So I'm hoping, not necessarily saying that I believe that's what they did, but for me, that's the vibe that I got, was that they were trying to amplify, like, you know, how addictive personalities can work and how they function and the different types. So that's why I think that's what I got from
that
it.
was a major theme. Yeah, I think addiction was a major theme of season 1, and I think season 2 a major theme was guilt, because we see the guilt of 40 in thinking that he harmed his, you know, babysitter or whatever that he had a relationship with. We see the guilt of that he's dealing with by drinking to excess. We see the guilt of love for what she actually did. We see, you know, as, you know, things have transpired in first season, we see Joe feeling guilty for having a separate identity. We see Joe feeling guilty for various things that he's done and being haunted and those types of things. So I would say if addiction is the major theme of season 1, guilt seems to be the major theme of season 2. And throughout, again, there's this overarching theme of, you know, this attractive person who is able to get away with these things in a lot of cases because he is so harmless appearing, right? And because he is attractive.
Yeah. Like, how the fuck did you get that huge fucking box all the way from New York to California? Right. Like, girl, how'd you do that? Like,
right. Yeah. So I think overall, I think it's a very well done show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's very I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and I hope that it's not going to be one of those shows that like gets talked to death where
as we're talking about it.
I know. But this is Netflix and Kill. This is what we do. But I mean, I'm talking about like all the memes and stuff, and like it's so like on trend right now that I hope that I think that if you are kind of into that element of the Bundy case of like, how is this fucking dude able to get away with all of this crazy shit? I mean, Bundy, like they left him handcuffed, and this motherfucker, like they let him represent himself in court, which I guess everybody has that right. But like they would let him hang out at the law library unhandcuffed. And then, of course, one day the dude jumps out of the fucking window and goes on the lam. Of course he did. But it's like, how did he get away with this? And there's no way that he would have if he didn't look exactly like he did in the era that he did and be able to kind of turn that charm on. And that's what we see with sociopaths is, you know, it's not, and this show really highlights this, that, you know, Joe is not functioning the way that non-sociopaths function. He's thinking through every single action. Every single thing that he does is calculated. And every single response, most of the time, most of the responses that he's having to things in his normal life are calculated responses that are designed to elicit some sort of response from you, whether that's trust or anger or, you know, happiness, or whether that's, you know, affection. He's making those decisions as to how to present himself, which is very, you know, obviously that's the way a sociopath's mind works. Yeah. So I think if you're into that element of cases like Bundy's case, or if you find cases of control and of, you know, over, I guess, stalker cases, things like that, interesting, I think you would really enjoy this show, just because it does have very heavy horror overtones and heavy like true crime overtones. I think if you're like super into true crime, you would also like this show, because you'd be like, bitch, like there were things that were happening, like things that she was discovering, or like things people would say to her.
Red flags.
Yeah, absolutely. And like every time a red flag goes up, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like looking for the McDonald triad, like all of that shit. So I think that our audience actually would really enjoy this show. So if you have kind of like seen a lot of the memes and you're getting tired of it and you're like kind of like, people are talking it to death, I would really encourage you to actually watch it, because it is very well done.
Yeah, definitely. So it also it got about 43 million viewers. since its release. Let's see, I think, and then January 21st, the second season had been viewed by over 54 million viewers on its first month of release.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. People were talking about this show in 2018.
Well, it actually first premiered on Lifetime.
Did it really?
Yeah. It was on Lifetime and then went to Netflix.
Yes. I could totally see this being a Lifetime show.
But wait. Who at Lifetime let that go? Like,
right? Well, it may not have been a choice. Netflix may have just bought it out.
True.
I mean, Netflix is a fucking powerhouse, dude.
Honestly. So like major numbers. And so, yeah, that was in like December and then they like blew up.
Yeah.
43 million views for the first season. Like I said, 54. And you can only expect that to grow with the third season that's coming up too.
Yeah.
Which is set to be released a little bit later this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was next year.
Or next year, maybe 2021.
Yeah, I thought it was.
And I mean, like I said, it received a lot of positive critical response. It sits at a 93% approval rating on our good old-fashioned tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
With the consensus quote saying, "You pairs thrilling drama with trashy fun to create an addictive social media horror story that works its way under the skin and stays there."
Love that. Yes, all the tomatoes. Joe can have all these tomatoes. He can have a sauce, honey. We could make a lasagna.
And then for the second season, it reads, Penn Badgley's perversely endearing serial stalker keeps looking for love in all the wrong places during a second season. Yes, he fucking does.
Yeah.
That maintains the subversive tension while adding some welcome variations on the series formula. So I personally preferred the first season.
I don't know.
It was second.
I think the first season was definitely more concise. It was a very clear story from start to finish, and we knew exactly, like, it was very clear that the writers knew exactly what path they were taking. Second season is a little bit more messy because, of course, you kind of have to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
I kind of liked the element of him being, like, a clear New Yorker in California because, let me tell you, when I went to California, I felt that.
That's what I'm saying.
I love all of our California listeners, but I felt that. And I kind of liked that element of the show. Yeah,
if you think about the characters in the first season, they were all very like sort of New York stereotypes in a way, kind of. Same thing happens in season 2. Everyone kind of is. It's like almost like a stereotype. That they play for everyone. I'm not sure if they're.
Everybody's also still a piece of shit. There's a couple characters actually that aren't, but
the world is just an entire piece. I think the one person who's not a piece of shit is probably the kid in the first season who, you know.
But the girl and the kid in the second season, and also Delilah.
Yeah,
like
true.
her older sister.
Yeah, true. So. And it was nominated for several awards for Best Streaming, Best Actor, and Best Actress. Elizabeth Lail, and then Penn got that, and then like they also got a category for television pilot and first season. What the fuck that is? I don't know. They didn't win, but they were just nominated.
Excellent. For first season or second?
I don't know.
It was probably first.
Girl,
I guess.
probably first. Who knows?
The reason I ask is that the first episode of the show is actually really good as a pilot. Like, I think it's a really good pilot.
Yeah, it really is.
Because it gets the story across really well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's good. I get the trashy element of it because it's really good. Like, it's really good thing to watch if you just don't really have the brain energy or emotional energy to expend. You know, because it's very you can get as much out of it as you put in. I guess I'll say.
He's literally telling you everything that's happening, so your brain doesn't have to think the entire time
because you're giving him the control. It's fine.
Honestly,
you're just giving it over to him. OMG.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's that's kind of what we wanted to talk about. I think for you, I'm excited for the third season. I mean, we kind of clearly wanted to focus a little bit more on the first season, which is why we kind of touched on the second season, but didn't really go into it. But I mean, hey, who never knows? You might see us back next week, or maybe not, girl. I don't know, but
no, it's good. this would be a fun thing to discuss like on the Facebook group and stuff because it's hard. Sometimes it's hard when we do these Netflix and kills because we don't want to like, I know that there are people that listen through even though we say we're going to give spoilers, but I don't want to totally ruin it for everybody and get super like myopic with it. But like, no, it's good. I think you should watch it and talk about it on the Facebook group. And then we can get into the
So with all of
deets.
that being said, Katie, you know what I'm about to ask you, right? Mm-hmm. Do you chill or do you kill?
Honey, I would, the chillest chill that has ever chilled. I'm an ice cube. I'm an ice cube in a glass of whiskey at the lips of Penn Bagley as he prepares to drink it down whilst watching me across the bar.
So you're both. So you're both across the bar and also the ice cube.
I'm everywhere. I'm everything. I'm the Earth Mother. No, yeah, I'm a chill hard with it. It was a really good show, very solid, very good ensemble work, very good storyline. I like the perspective. I like the structure of it with the narration. I like how sometimes we're watching one thing happen right in front of us, but it's being narrated and reframed from a sociopathic perspective. And I just thought that was really interesting. So I'm a chill. How about you?
Girl, you might as well just call me Elsa because I'm about to freeze over this whole entire thing. Honey, let it go. Let it go. Honey, Joe, don't come in my house no more.
Oh my God, you're so cringy. Oh, the most cringy.
It's fine. It's fine.
Maximum cringe.
It's fine. That's the point of this entire podcast. Yeah, I would just have to agree. I mean, honestly, like I said, I watched it several times and really thought that you would like it. And we had fun watching it on the couch together, staying up all night.
It's a good show to watch with your bestie.
A long time since we had stayed up late, that late watching something.
Yes,
and I was like,
it was fun.
Like for me, it was more fun just like watching it with you than like.
Then it may have been alone.
Or even just like as the show itself. So I was just really happy to like, kind of sit and have that moment
time.
And stay up really late because it's hard. I understand that like it's harder for you because you got to have your sleep, girl.
I
because
do.
You turn into a fucking beast if I've ever seen one. If you don't get your sleep and your food, which is a struggle when we're intermittent fasting. So I've got to like. So I have, got a lot I'm working with over here that I'm trying to deal.
Kenny's like, please help me. I'm blinking, but this is an audio medium. Please.
So no, it was just fun. So I would highly recommend anyone to sit and watch it with your bestie or,
or your mom,
or your mom.
Whatever
Please
you want to do.
don't watch it with your mom.
Yeah, maybe not your mom.
No, don't watch it with your mom.
I mean, maybe you got
awkward.
a cool mom. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe cool mom. Cool mom loves it.
Cool mom
loves it.
All right. So I chill with it, girl.
Yes, absolutely. I recommend it. I'm telling you, I know that Netflix and Kill is more of a horror type thing, and this is a little bit of a psychological thriller thing, but a lot of our audience loves true crime too. So we thought that this would be, a good thing for us to talk about on the show. Good topic. If you are more of like a horror junkie and you're like, I only like serious horror, I would still...
Then I would tell you to fuck off,
yeah,
honestly.
That's true. Because most of the horror that we like is trash horror, especially me. I fucking love horror, comedy, trash horror, all of it. I'm living for it all. But
her.
like, yes.
All the way.
We love the B. So... if you are that type of person that you're more like into the horror and you thought that maybe this wouldn't be for you because it does seem so mainstream, I would encourage you to check it out. There's probably something in there for you. And maybe not. Maybe you hate it. If so, find something else, girl.
And maybe not.
It's Netflix.
Same thing with this podcast. Maybe you'll find something in it you like. Maybe not.
Maybe you won't. That's all right with me.
It'd be great if you did, though.
It would be great. It would be pretty cool if you did.
It'd be pretty cool if you did.
But no, check it out. Don't let because I know that there are some people that if something goes mainstream, you're like, maybe it's not that great. Even to a degree, I'm a little bit like that.
Refuse to watch it. I'm like, come on, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's something in there for you. Watch the first episode. Let us know what you think, and you can let us know on Twitter at The Haunted Heart, on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. Please, please, please join our Facebook group. You just search The Haunted Heart Podcast on Facebook, like our page, and then you can request to join our Facebook group. Either Kenny, myself, or one of the members of our lovely Murder Mod Squad will approve you, and then you can kind of have discussions and all kinds of, there's memes, all kinds of shit in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it's a really good place to discuss topics like this, where we can kind of have a back and forth and you know, with you guys. Patreon as well, patreon.com/The Haunted Heart. If you would like to support the show, if you think we do a good job, Patreon tiers start at $1 a month. So if that's something that you can do and that you're interested in doing, we have a lot of bonus material on there. We also sometimes we'll do extra Netflix and Kill episodes for Patreon that are exclusive to Patreon. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah.
Yeah.
I think did I hit everything?
Well, almost. You forgot to throw it out there that if you have a Netflix and Kill recommendation, that you can send it to us at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on, the things that we review and cover. If you completely disagree with us, please let us know. We'd love that. And let us know what you would like for us to watch.
Yes. Give us recommendations. One thing in the Facebook group that we want to get started, I have no idea what time, what the time horizon for that is like, because we're getting the show back on the road with Netflix and Kill, and we want to make sure that we're consistent with that. But I know that you guys are interested in doing some streaming stuff and some party watching stuff for the Facebook group. So we would like to do that. There's some fun kind of things that we have earmarked that we would like to watch with you.
And Cat People streaming now.
Fuck yes, it is. So yeah, we may try to set up some sort of regular schedule to do that with you guys, because I know it is something that you're interested in. So if you're not in the Facebook, get in the Facebook group so that we can watch shit together.
True.
Because we love to watch shit with you guys. And with that said, I got a big ass bowl of popcorn here.
And we're about to consume it because I've been eyeing it the whole time. She actually pulled the popcorn away from me and has been holding it. She won't let me have any. I actually had a single...
Hopefully you didn't hear me when I snuck a couple pieces during the episode. Maybe you did.
I had a kernel that I just stopped. I couldn't eat it. I just found it. And so I'm going to eat this now, but not in the mic because you hate it. But while we finish this popcorn, you know what you got to do. Until next time, folks.
Stay spooky.